Hey, welcome to my channel, Musicalina, where I talk about all things music. So I was going to make, a different video today, but upon hearing the very dismaying news that Marko RESIGNS is resigning from Nightwish, at least in 2021, I obviously need to talk about this. So Nightwish released a written statement from Marko on the band's website, as well as on their Instagram page, probably on their Facebook page as well. And I have to say that I was a little confused reading it. It wasn't a real in-depth letter. He does begin by citing some examples of the music industry's grip on bands and how he really doesn't want to do this. He really doesn't want to be part of the big wheel right now that 2020 forced him to stay home and do some thinking, as it has with all of us. He talks about how he has found himself very disillusioned about a lot of things. For me to write, sing, and play, I need to find some new reasons and inspirations. He talks about being chronically depressed. He says, for the people who like them, I need to say that my 55th birthday is now on the 14th of January, and I've certainly done my time for now. Blaming, for instance, Thomas is an insult to both him and my free thinking. This is a very sad thing for all of us too. Have a care, please. So I found that to be kind of vague. Does Thomas have something to do with the decision, or was that simply an allusion to him thinking that everyone was immediately going to blame Thomas for him leaving, and him saying, don't do that, this has nothing to do with him, this is about me and what I've been going through? I'm not really sure. So the message ends saying that there were a couple of things that he agreed to do in 2021. And then he says, otherwise, I kindly and with respect ask the media, bands, artists, projects, etc. not to ask me for anything within the next year. I have some reinventing to do. I hope to tell you about it on 2022. It's not a promise, though. I am so sorry about this. So basically, I took that as he's done for 2021, but might rejoin in some capacity in 2022. So obviously this past year we have all been forced to reflect on a lot of things, and we have probably all been forced to in some way face some things about ourselves, about our relationships with other people, that we have been able to push aside. It's a lot easier to ignore those things and push them to the back when you're so caught up in life and you're busy and this and that. And since everything kind of came to a halt this past year, I think a lot of people have been forced to face a lot of things and think about a lot of things and prioritize a lot of things that perhaps were not priorities before. Being in a band as successful as Nightwish, I would imagine there is a lot of bullshit that comes along with it that you and I know nothing about. Obviously, we don't see that. We see the musical part of it. We don't see really the business part of it. I would imagine that the only real authentic moments that you have at a certain point is being on stage with the music, and that there's so many other pretensions and just going through the motions that you have to do once you're off stage. And, you know, he's been in the band since 2001. He joined in 2001. He replaced bassist Sammy Vanko. And, you know, it's a long time to be in a band and to be kind of just having to be part of something much, much bigger than you, basically. I want to talk a little bit about a solo album that Marko just recently released in January called Pyre of the Black Heart. I think I had heard that he had come out with it, but I hadn't actually heard anything from the album. And I recently just listened to it. And it's not quite what I expected. It's very different from Nightwish. It's very different from Tarot, which is Marko's side band. That makes me think, I guess he's not doing anything with Tarot either this year. If you've never checked out Tarot, I highly suggest them. They're great. They're a really great rock band. Anyway, so back to this solo album. Musically, it's kind of all over the place. Marko is an exceptional composer and lyricist. He really does know how to write a song. I did really enjoy most of the songs on this album. They're all very different. I especially liked the ballads on this album. Songs like Voice of My Father and a song called I Am the Way. In that song, Marko's vocals are just staggering. They're just, what he can do with his voice is truly amazing. So Marko himself has described this album as hard prog, and quote, a really diverse musical roller coaster ride that takes eager listeners into a world of strong emotions and deep feelings. And I would concur with that for sure. I will follow Marko anywhere, and I will follow Nightwish anywhere. And I believe that if this loss is permanent, obviously I hope that it is not. I don't think it will be, but that's just my opinion. But if it is permanent, Nightwish will adapt, because that's what Nightwish does. They adapted at the loss of Sammy by bringing in Marko and bringing in this whole other unique dynamic that was really a piece of the puzzle that just fit perfectly. They adapted when Tarja left. Remember when Tarja was fired, people said there's no way that they can continue because Tarja's voice was such an integral part of their sound. They said there's no way that they can continue after that. And they did. They adapted after Annette left. So one thing that they are very, very good at, also Yuka. Yuka also left the band due to health issues, and they brought in Kai. So they've had some lineup changes for sure, and they've adapted every time. It's also worth noting that Marko also recently released a book, a memoir called Stainless, ? Stainless? I would imagine that he wrote it in Finnish and that it has been translated to English. I have not read it. If you have read it, please let me know down below in the comments what you thought of it. So perhaps there's a little more insight into his decision. So the last song on Marko's solo album is a track called The Truth Shall Set You Free. And there are some lyrics in the song that mirror the lyrics in a Nightwish song called Yours Is an Empty Hope. That song was written after Annette was fired from the band. It's a pretty harsh song. It's sung by Floor. It's on Endless Form's Most Beautiful. Woo! It's on that album. Anyway, so I wanted to read you some of the lyrics from this song by Marko. I'm not sure if this is a coincidence or not, but okay. So I wanted to read you some lyrics from this song, The Truth Shall Set You Free. I can't let you have the world, but it's there for you. I can't make you want the truth, it's up to you. All roads canceled, away from hell, if you just turn from the smoke and the noise. I see the dried up paper of your soul, the notes of the song, and your voice. I would say the songs on his album are pretty melancholy and I do think they give some insight on what he's been going through lately. So I am sad, I am disappointed, but I hope that he's okay. That's obviously the most important thing. I hope that he's okay. I know that he does have a family, and I hope that whatever peace he needs, he is able to gain that, because we need to protect our peace at all costs. And if that means cutting out people from our life, if that means cutting out other things from our life, if that means leaving our jobs, then that's what we need to do. I do hope that this is not permanent, like I said, and that he is able to find joy again in making music, and hopefully one day with rejoining Nightwish. So let me know what you think down below. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here today, and I will see you next time. Take care.